Hello and welcome to another episode of me painting again. Oh yeah, we're painting again, and this time I'm going to get some bit of ultramarine blue. So my idea today, because everything's gone autumn, I'd like to do some autumn trees, but it'd be nice to have a mountain as well. So just tap it into some blue, tap it into some ultramarine blue, give it a good tap, start at the top, and then slowly work down. So I'm purposely leaving some light spots. Because what I'm thinking, I might put a bit of crimson in my colour actually. A bit of the crimson in with the red, in with the blue. A blue, bit of red. Just a little bit. Bit of tap. To make that sky a bit darker. So I'm thinking while I'm painting. So I've got a basic idea. What I always do when I do a painting, I have a basic idea, but I haven't painted it before. So it's a case of see what happens, and then if it doesn't work out, you can always paint another one. It doesn't really matter. But if you have your idea, you've kind of already painted it. Because I've already painted this in my mind. Well, some of it. So we'll see what happens. It looks like there's a hair falling out my brush. So we'll do that bit of blue, and now what I might do, I'm thinking maybe go a bit darker. I'm thinking darker because I might put a cloud in, and then the clouds will show, and then the mountain will show as well. The light side of the mountain will show. So yeah, let's do that. And this brush hasn't been cleaned very well. This one light. Oh, this one's all right. So I gotta get some bit of crimson, a bit of white. Pull it in one direction. And then like a bit of a cloud here. Tiny circles. Because there's some clouds outside, so let's give this the autumn cloud. And then there's one there as well. So all I do is spin my bristles. Just spin them. Load your paint and then spin away. However you want your cloud to be. There we go, another one of those. And then using the top corner of the brush, just mix the base of those clouds up. It'll be light. And let's get rid of that one as well. Lift up. Get some air and wind in there. Keep whacking the paint off your brush. Let's just really lightly going over that. Let's have a look at that. So I always step back and have a look. I'll do. I don't want to do too many clouds. And I don't want to use too much of my white paint either. I say that because I'm on my last bit of white paint until I buy some more. Oh, burnt umber has just slid down the palette. It's coming for me. Right, that'll do for the sky. Quite like that. I just wanted something in the sky. I didn't want it to be just plain. I wanted a little bit of action. So now I'm going to get some crimson, some blue, black, brown. Let's make a dark. This can be our mountain next. I wonder what colour it is. Sort of to the reddish. Sort of a reddish dark. Maybe I'll have a bit more blue in it. We'll go with that. Cut across, a little roll of paint. Or big roll. I did 2 then. Now I want my mountain to be right there. And I have a few little oops. Yeah, go like that. Let's try and be creative with a mountain. I like painting mountains. Maybe another. So I'm just focusing on the outside edge really when I'm doing it. Oops. Just let my knife fall into my hand then. And there. A piece of paper, just wipe my finger. I'm just going to scrape off the excess. Now, what I'm going to do, get my brush. We'll start putting these down. Can have it going like that. Down that way. And then maybe another bit that goes like this. Try and figure out your mountain while you're doing this bit. Pulling the paint out. Knock off some of the excess. That's kind of what we're doing really. We're removing excess paint and we're also designing the mountain. Really nice and soft down the bottom. It's happened again. My mountains always get too big. Start enjoying it and I'm like, oh, I'll just do a little mountain and it goes bigger and bigger. Problem is I'm not using a big enough canvas. I need a bigger canvas and I've actually got one. But I'm going to do a painting, a huge one. I want to do a big painting. Then I could do a big mountain. And I'll get some of this white. It's got a bit of crimson in it, a bit more. White and crimson. Just play it out flat, cut across. A little roll of paint on a knife. It's quite a big roll actually, that one, look. You can see it. Might be too much light. I don't know if you can see that. Well, there's a nice roll of paint on my knife, so I'm thinking, where could I start? I could start on this one and just go light pressure. Maybe this one here. Cut across, little roll of paint again, and this one. Mountain starts creating itself a little bit. You get your idea and then you think, oh, yeah, that looks good, I'll go with that. But the way it breaks, it's sort of, let's go a little bit there. Sort of a rounded pull and then go down. It's quite steep, this area, isn't it? Climbers would like this. I wanted a challenge. There we go. But what I mean is, when you're doing this, you're adding your highlights and stuff, you get like these areas here. That's perfect for some shadow now. It's amazing how it happens like that. Because I wouldn't have painted it, I wouldn't have thought of being able to do it that way. Bit of light there, maybe I could have this all in shadow. But this bit's getting the light. Maybe this bit here. Bit of light on there, a bit snowy. Maybe that bit as well is getting a bit. Just think about it, work it out. Whatever you want. It's your painting, after all. Don't feel like you have to do the same as me. You're doing your painting. It's up to you. You can follow along or you can make up your own one. There's a load of paint under the palette. My hand is covered in paint. Oh, this is one of those days. Never mind. Let's get some of this blue. And we'll move it over here. Oh, actually, let's move some white over there. A bit more white. Crimson in that. More blue and crimson. Well, that's quite nice. Let's come across a little roll of that. And let's do this bit here. And there. Just letting that paint do the work for you. Because I haven't over mixed it, so you get all these different colours. Little bits of different reds and crimsons. Nice bit of shadow on that bit. Like this bit. This is my favourite bit of the mountain here. Might go round. That's nice. I like that. This bit as well. Yeah, definitely saw a bit there. Yeah, I like that. A little bit more on that. There we go. And this. Then think about the angles. Think about the angles. Try and get your mountain to flow along the angles and just make it a bit more colour. I feel like this might have light there. Sort of swooping round. Let's get a bit more of this. Just a little bit there and then here. Yeah, that looks cool. I might have a little bit of blue just sort of going into that. And then I might create a white, just a little bit of a ridge. Oh, yeah, that looks good. Looks different, doesn't it? That's the thing that I'm always trying to do, because I know when I first started this technique, and I was trying to sell some paintings once, and this bloke said to me, "Oh, those 3 paintings there have all got the same mountain on it." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, didn't realise I was just having fun painting mountains. I didn't notice I painted the same one over and over." Then he asked me where it was, and I said, "Well, I actually made it up. It doesn't exist. Somehow I painted it 3 times." Do a little bit of light there, just sort of cleaning up areas. A little bit more paint, just clean up that area there. Oh, yeah, I like that. I could keep going with these. That's the thing. They're so much fun to do. If you've not tried painting the mountains, have a go. They're really good fun to do. A light on that end there. And I could put a little bit of the blue. Yeah, I think I'll stop there. I'm liking that. That's looking good. Whoops. Let's use my brush to just lift up. Softly, softly does it though. Because you can get rid of all your details completely. I just want to soften it a little bit. Let's soften that area. Make that quiet there. Bit of there. Too much paint there. Well, that's alright, because we'll probably block that with a tree anyway. So, let's carry on. So what I want to do is get some trees in here, because it's autumn. Autumn trees. What brush shall I use? Let's use a 1-inch brush. Almost bit of burnt sienna. Burnt umber, burnt sienna. We'll make our dark with those 2. So I've got some trees. This is just the dark. Just the dark. There as well. A tree there. So this place that I'm thinking of, it had trees that sort of went round, kind of like that. I might just throw the dark in. stand back. Oh yeah, that's not too bad. Oh, more there. There's a bit more dark there. Thinking about tree shapes. Thinking about the trees that I saw. So this is a real place in my head anyway, because there was no mountain there. I always think of these places, I see these areas and I think, oh, imagine if that had a mountain behind it. How cool that would look. Because then it gives me an excuse to paint the mountain. So something like that. And then what we've got is the light coming this way. So, yeah, we've got the light coming down here. And because it's a white canvas, what we can do, I'm still wiping my hands. I've got paint everywhere. Can't believe it. Never mind. It's all part of the fun, isn't it? So, yeah, the light's coming this way, so it's kind of dark on this side. I feel like maybe I could do a bigger tree there. Not sure what you're thinking when you're watching. Maybe there should be one. Let me see. So I'm grabbing the two colours again. Burnt sienna and burnt umber. I just grab them on my brush and use that to slop on like this. Yeah, that's a real big one there. It's made me think this should be bigger here. I'll leave that gap there though. Sometimes it's good to leave the gaps. So this needs to go up now. That's what I think anyway. Keep my mountain. I spent ages painting that. I don't want to get rid of that, do I? Go up there. So this side's a bit darker. There's not going to be as much light. Right, anyway, so what was I going to do? Because this is on a white canvas, you can scrape it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my knife and scrape away some twigs. Not sure why I did that wiggle there. And scrape away a few areas where you want to have a few tree limbs. Maybe these are silver birches or any. Just put a few in and some of them will show. Wherever. Then, using my 1-inch brush, I'm not going to clean it. I'm leaving the colour on because I'm going to do this side first. So I'll get a bit of the green, sap green, a little bit of the Indian yellow, a bit of the other yellow. And then we can put in a few greener areas. just to add a different colour in. Going to add some light on that side, so I might use a fresh brush actually. Use this one. So I'll get some yellow, some of this Indian yellow. Nice autumn colour. That's what I'm after. Nice autumn colour. And I'll use a bit of this on here to get that one side. It's touching there, and maybe a bit on there. This is what I've been marvelling at the moment, the autumn colours. Maybe there's a bit there, hitting that. It's not going to be quite as much on this side, because this is the darker side. So when I've touched in the colour a little bit, then I can add it in. And then it's darker then, because I've picked up some of this undercolour. And it gets a bit darker. Something like that. Just whack my brush on a paper towel, and then we'll go for the light colour now. Really nice light, and I can lightly just put some of that on there. So all the light is going to hit that tree a bit more. I'm just pulling in one direction. You get that little bush, and then on your palette, and you can stick that right on your trees. Create those autumn looking trees. I'm going to go right into the Indian yellow now. Get some Indian yellow and some of that on this tree. Just keep loading your brush. You'll pick up the dark. And some of that yellow. Yellow. Have a look at that. Let's just stand back and have a look. Yeah, that's looking very autumny, isn't it? Tell you what, I can see a little bit of colour there. That's what I would have. So when you're doing your paintings, thinking like that, oh, I was doing this painting, which I am, I'd have a bit of colour there. So you just put it in. So I might get a bit of crimson, bit of this yellow, bit of white. Oh yes, nice hot colour. Let's get some of this. Where would we have that? I think it's a bit there. And then maybe a bit on this tree. Started to go pink there. More there. Yeah, now I've got to think about the path. So I'm going to have a path. And then I want to have some green. Some green. And yellow. Green and yellow. Maybe some white as well. Just to lighten it a bit. And we've got all this grassy area here. Just pushing up with my brush. Just to get some grassy area. want it to be a bit rough and some rocks underneath. Let's stand back, have a look at that. What I could do is a bit of this white colour in with the yellow and reds. Maybe lighten it up a bit more. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, I need more light on this side, and I've used all my paint up. So, I'm just going to load up a bit more paint. Okay, so I've thrown on a bit more yellow. So I need a bit more light. A bit more yellow. So I want a bit more light on this side. So that's going to cast a shadow, but I'd like a little bit more on this grass. So I'm just pushing up, getting all this paint off onto the canvas. It's quite thick with paint actually, which can be a little bit scary. I remember when I used to paint before, when I was a bit scared of the paint. Like when I used to use a lot, I used to get in a real mess quick. I have actually got in a mess today because I've got paint everywhere, but what I mean is on the canvas. That's better. It's got that bit of light over this one side. That's what I wanted. So I also feel like there's a path. What shall I use? Shall I use a brush or a knife? I might use a brush. Which is the best brush for this? No, I use a knife. I'm in an R in. Use a bit of brown. You know, like there's a come down there. You'd come around here, down that path. And you'd see a mountain there. You're walking through. And then you go, wow, look at that mountain we're walking past. Like that. Maybe I can get a bit of crimson. Bit of this white. Might as well. Get a little bit of light in this bit there. Okay, just like that. Use this paint again. Just sort of some of this grass going over. If your paint isn't sticking to the paint that's there, you probably need a bit more thinner on the paint to make it stick. Because a thin paint sticks to a thicker, drier paint. I'm doing okay because my paint, the yellow's quite thin really. And yeah, it's quite nice. Like I would just blend that in a little bit there. Sort of stand back, have a look at that. Yeah, It's quite a nice path. I'll put a little bit of red here. Just to say that path's there. It disappears into there. Yeah, I quite like that. So I wanted to have just a bit of dark. Just wanted to have a bit of a rock there. Just at the bottom there. Maybe another one there. Another rock there. Another one there as well. I like doing these rocks. A tiny bit of that light colour. Just throw it into that. I just want a little bit of light in that one and this one there. Yeah, that'll do. And a bit there. And that one. That one can stay dark, because that's in the dark there. So a little trick is to do your rocks bigger as they get closer and then do really small ones as it goes further away. And it just gives you that illusion of depth as you do your tiny ones there. And then the bigger as they get closer. Yeah, so I quite like that. I'm thinking might leave it at that. Just put a bit of grass there, growing up there, bit there. Or maybe a bird. That's what I might do. Might do a bird. Yeah. Get my line of brush. And I'll just put a little bird here. Maybe another one there. I like putting in the birds. Gives this place a bit more action, doesn't it? Another one there. I really like that one. That worked out nice. Maybe a little bit of a little grow in there. Colour on them. And then grow in there. You can do that just scraping through the paint. Anyway, I think I'm done. I think I quite like the way it goes into my path. So I'm quite happy with that. Just put a little, yeah, let's put a little GB in there. Might as well. Might not be able to see it because of all the paint on there. Oh, I can just about see it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this mountain scene. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you at another one. Cheers. Bye.